Hey Centra, thanks so much for tuning in once again for Open Enrollment Education. We are about a week out, Aubrey, from Open Enrollment ending, and so we are here to encourage you to get to it if you have not. And today we're going to deal with a lot of frequently asked questions that we have had, and the main topic it seems this year is the HSA, so the Health Savings Account. And so we're going to just go over that. We went over the differences between the FSA and the HSA earlier in Open Enrollment Education, but we want to hit the highlights again because it seems like there are still a lot of questions and maybe things that we didn't address. So we're going to start out, Aubrey, what are some things that you have heard and what are some of the frequently asked questions that people are asking?
So I'm going to, before we jump into that, talk a little bit about just making sure people enroll, because if there aren't people that have questions about the HSA, I do want to give you a couple reminders about enrolling.
Oh, okay.
So we did talk about, we only have a week left. I would encourage you to get in there and do it today as soon as possible. That way we're not clogging up the phone lines or the system. We want to make sure everybody gets in and is able to enroll. So we encourage you to do that as soon as today, if not tomorrow. But that way we get everybody in and you don't have to worry whether you're going to get a phone call back on that last day. I mean, we will make sure that you do, but I just want there to be plenty of time for you to enroll and feel like you have time to think about which choices you want to elect.
Yes,
so just as a reminder, you can go to Centra People and find the link there. We've been sending it out at least once a week, twice a week if you haven't enrolled yet, so you should see that coming through and be able to click on the link in your email. So just a plug for that. If you don't have any questions about the HSA, I just wanted to make sure you heard that before we kick off some question and answer on the HSA. So
absolutely, which is why we're here, Open Enrollment Education, so that you will go and enroll.
That's right.
So that's priority number one. Okay, so HSA. Some of the questions that we've had surrounding HSA, let's just start with the basics again. Okay, so HSA can only be paired with the high deductible health plan, and the HSA is an account that will roll over from year to year. So whatever funds you put in, you will not lose those funds if you do not use them within the calendar year. They will continue to roll over. They are invested. So you will make some interest on those funds, and you can continue to build it and use it as retirement. If you leave Centra, you can take the funds with you. If you had a prior HSA at another employer, you can transfer it here. So those are a few things that we've heard. Aubrey, what other questions have you encountered?
So with the HSA, we do give a contribution. Centra gives us free money to elect the HDHP, High Deductible Health Plan, into the HSA. So remember, that's $1,000 for families and $750 for individuals. So one of the questions that we often get with that is, how do I get that money? So it is distributed to us as caregivers throughout the whole year. So if you have 26 pay periods, you would get pieces of that throughout those 26 pay periods. If it's 12, you can do the math. It's approximately spread out over that whole period. So that's one good thing to consider. It's not a lump sum up front. It will be spread out over the year.
Okay.
The other thing is, Stephanie mentioned you can take the account with you, which is excellent. You can use the funds for any qualifying medical event, and if you have questions about that, you can visit our group that helps us monitor that. We have all the information on Lawson that you can find their contact info, sheets of information about the HSA and how that functions and works. So you'll just want to make sure that you understand that funds can be used for qualifying medical events. After the age of 65, you can actually take that out and use it for anything, but it has to be after that age of 65.
So I think one of the other questions, how do you access the funds in the HSA?
So the funds in the HSA, Health Equity is our vendor for the account itself, they will send you a debit card that you can use to access those funds.
Okay. And so I'm also mindful of some of the other questions we've had as far as, how it compares to the FSA. Can it also be paired with the basic advantage? And it cannot. The HSA is specific to the high deductible health plan. We've also had a lot of questions around what does the high deductible health plan actually cover? Are there any visits or services that are covered that are that you don't have to pay for? And of course, we've mentioned before that any preventive care, so your annual checkup and age-appropriate screenings like mammograms and colonoscopies, those things are covered. And of course, we encourage you, Centra 24/7, our virtual visit app is wonderful. And for HDHP customers, you can access that for $49. Of course, it's not for emergent care, but it is great if you've got just a sinus infection, or maybe you think you have strep or the flu, or just some kind of ailment that you would normally go to the doctor for. I've used it. I used it in my office here at work. It took me 5 minutes. It was wonderful. And so that's good. And also keep in mind too that the HDHP plan does not cover prescriptions. And so there is a list on the PCHP website that will tell you there are some prescriptions that are covered completely. And then there are also some prescriptions that you can get either through GoodRx or through different pharmacies that are discounted, maybe like $4 or $10 or something like that on generics. So take a look at that list. If you're on a maintenance drug, that's something to consider as well when you're looking at the HDHP and pairing that with the HSA. Any other things top of mind that you have heard that people are asking, Aubrey?
I think just thinking about some of these HSA options, the FSA that goes along with the basic care plan, just a reminder that you do want to go out and get enrolled. I know we just talked about that, but you want to make sure that you elect the benefits that you want from year to year. If you don't go into the system, you can lose some of these great opportunities, like the FSA will not roll over from year to year. So we just want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get in there and elect what you want and feel is best for your family for 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're talking, I'm thinking about two more questions we've been asked. The HSA, can you access funds that are that you have already promised to contribute, or the money that Centra has promised to contribute before it's there? And you cannot until funds are there. You can only access funds as they become available, as they are deposited and as they become available. That's one thing to consider. Another question we've gotten, if you are part of the high deductible health plan and you're pairing that with the HSA, can you also use an FSA for the child care? Is that what it's called, Aubrey?
The dependent care
The dependent care FSA. And the answer to that is yes, you can. So that is an option for you as well. Lots of different pairings and different choices. And so it's so good for you to go out and get educated so you'll know all the different things that are available to you and how to fit the pieces together that are best for you and for your family. And Centra does such a wonderful job at giving us so many great choices and options. And so any last minute thoughts before we sign off?
I don't think so. We just want to get you out there and enrolling. So, and please do so. We'll look for the email links or go to Centra People. And if you have any trouble, let us know and we'll be happy to make sure that you get in and are able to enroll.
Absolutely. Thanks, Centra, for joining us once again. Have a great week and we'll see you next week.